Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Boboleros podcast. Thank you for being here. I am Margaret, and this is a podcast primarily about knitting, but also inspiration from the world of fine arts, classical music, film, fashion, and random drippings from the brain pan. So I'd like to welcome you here. I have one finished object to share with you, a couple of works in progress, a couple of new yarn colors that are going to be debuting in the shop, and just a couple of stories about what has been going on in my life in the past month, hence my absence from most social media channels. But grab a warm cup of something cozy and delicious. I have my Vita Lifestyle Farm Fitty candle burning. It is late afternoon, or feels like late afternoon. I kind of like the ambiance. It's a little dark. It's a little spooky. No, it's not. It's like, I love the December vibes, the sort of Nordic afternoon vibes, where I know the days are shorter, but the light from outside in early morning or that late afternoon, it's nothing like it in the winter. There's something so special about that kind of white light. So I do love it. So I am wearing all gray today and some white pearls to sort of celebrate and inhale this more calm, serene kind of vibe. You know, it's funny how our tastes for colors, our need for certain colors change also seasonally. I was thinking about in the summer, I was feeling so much the brights, you know, and the Barbie collection with all the bright, you know, pinks and aqua blues, and it was so apropos, at least for the summer. But now, you know, certainly we all feel like a little bit of a different kind of mood falling upon us. So that was what you just heard, was a beautiful piece. I just heard it yesterday. It came upon as I was driving. It was on my Spotify, and I thought, wow, what is that beautiful piece? I must play it. And it was called Arietta from Edvard Grieg, from his Lyrical Pieces, Opus 12. And yeah, isn't that just so exactly with the vibe of the Nordic and, you know, kind of beautiful expression, serene expression. So I guess serenity is the big word of the day. Serenity has been an emotion that I've been struggling to feel this month, as there have been a lot of crazy things that have happened. So anyway, I'll just kind of like fill you in a little bit, and then we'll get to the yarn content quickly, because I don't want to dwell on this, but I only want to mention it because of a couple things. I do believe in the power that we all have within us for light And many times we have to speak the light into dark places and dark situations. So a few weeks ago, my good friend Diane told me a story, and it was such a cool story. It was a story about a man who had a heart attack and died. And I mean, that doesn't start well, but it ends well, trust me. So the hospital calls his wife and says, your husband just died, and he's an organ donor, so we're going to get his organs now. And she's like, don't you dare, I'm coming down to the hospital. And she was there in like a hot second. And she goes to the bedside of her now deceased husband and starts calling him back and says, George, you're not ready to go yet. Your assignment on this earth isn't finished. And she says that both, at some point in the past, she and her husband had discussed the fact that he will have a career in politics. And they both felt like they had divine signs that told them that that would be the case. And as of that moment that he was dead, that political career did not happen yet. So she's like, come on back because your assignment on this earth isn't done. Apparently he was already he was already in heaven. He was already having a good time, but he heard his wife's voice and he came back. And lo and behold, I think he became a senator or something. So true story, an amazing story. Of course, I'm very impressionable, and these things I take to heart because I've seen miracles happen. And so anyway, my dearest friend Mark, my best friend in the whole wide world, Mark, who I have talked about a lot on this podcast. He is my piano, we do all these piano projects together. He tunes all these instruments into these beautiful, absolutely incredible harmonies, resonances, and he's the greatest in his craft. And there was a book written about him, and when he tunes an instrument, it's not just what you would consider like a tune-up. It's actually a transformational thing because it changes the environment. It changes your feeling. It changes, I even noticed the harmony around, with the plants, and they start growing better. I've talked a lot about it. I'm not going to go on, but in any case, he went in for a fairly routine surgery, and there was an accident that happened while they were putting him under. And what should have been kind of like a 2-day stay in the hospital ended up to now being more than a month. And so they didn't catch the fact that his esophagus had been perforated during the act of putting him under anesthesia. And so nobody could figure out why he was having such intense buildup of fluids, and it was sort of a mystery. And he's in North Carolina. I'm in New Jersey. So when I started getting these messages, I thought, well, that's probably, just, I don't know, some side effect. I didn't know what was the situation. Nobody really knew. But then I got a text on a Friday. So this is now 10 days after the surgery. I get a text saying, Mark is welcoming visitors. So I didn't really understand what that meant, but I had the feeling that I should probably go. So I went on Saturday morning. I left. It was probably I would say November, probably 11th or one of those days around there. And I flew in. I'm putzing around, taking my time, getting coffee, renting a car. I sort of, I'm not used to traveling alone. So when I do, I kind of like to relish in the independence. So, getting coffee, but little did I know that at that moment, his oxygen levels plummeted to 20. And just for comparison's sake, I learned that if you're anything under 80, it's considered critical condition. So 20 is almost flatlining. I didn't know that. But when I came to the hospital, I was the only one there by his bed. Usually he has like a throng of people by him, but like for some reason I was the only one there. And I walk in on this scene in the ICU, and they're trying to, keep him alive. So they intubate him, trying to assess the issue, what's going on, trying to get his oxygen levels back. He's like, he's on feeding, he's like on every tube. And I didn't know what to do. So I started doing like what I heard in that story about the wife that started calling the guy back. So I started saying to him, Mark, you're not ready yet to leave Earth. Your assignment's not yet done. You better come back. You better come back. And well, by the grace of God, he is alive, but he's still in the hospital, and it's still a massive fight, battle. I went to see him a second time. I drove this time to North Carolina, which was, it's amazing. Like, I couldn't even drive, or didn't want to drive long distances. Even 10 years ago, it would be considered like, whoa, that's an epic journey. And it's funny how when you are presented with certain situations, it's amazing what new adaptations and strength you can find to do things that you didn't think were in you to do. So I found this to be not only an incredible trial for him, and I found myself like getting pulled into just such feelings of just lack of control, like how we don't really have control, but we do have influence over situations, and we can make them better, and we can speak light into situations, and we can offer comfort into situations, and do the best we can. When I came back from North Carolina the second time, it was Thanksgiving week, and then my mom got really sick. She just got like severe abdominal pains, and we ended up in the emergency room Thanksgiving. And that was over a week ago. She was back in the emergency room over the weekend. She's home now, but very weak, and we're not sure exactly what's going on there. So prayers would be much appreciated. So I have a sweater that kind of illustrates this crazy month that I've had. And I don't want to be a downer. I just want to say that, this month has been actually very enriching. It's amazing how in our weakness we are made strong in different ways, and we are so, like, I think there's nothing like crisis or something that is unexpected to bring us to an awareness of what is really important and what is vital, and also take off layers of masks and false overlays that we might have acquired over a lifetime. And that's certainly what I was able to glean from this month, and that has been very cathartic for me. So I mean this to be a positive podcast. But look at this sweater. Oh my gosh. All right, I don't know if you remember, but the last time I was podcasting, I had told you about this store called Rouje. It's a French boutique. They have really amazing, I find them to be really lovely, classic clothes. And so they had a sweater, and I was determined to try to reproduce this sweater. And so I went to town, and what I used was actually loopy mango, their merino worsted, just because I had so much of this in my stash. I said, why not? Boy, I hope it's not getting too dark here. Why not use it? And I also was holding it with a strand of Birdie from Lamb & Kid in this wonderful pink what is the name of this colorway? Taffy, I think it is. Taffy? Is it Taffy? It's Taffy. It's Taffy. Okay. So yeah. So these two together, I mean, wow. I really love that. But look at this sweater. It's just so sad. I don't know what to say. There are things I really like about it. There are things I don't like about it. And it really is like, if this could be my month, like illustrated in a sweater. Like, I don't know, it's scrappy. It really didn't make much progress. It's too wide. Like here, I don't know. I'm gonna show you here. At the end, I think I have to put more light on. I'm sorry. I think it's just too dark. Like here, look at how wide. I was trying to make it oversized, but I think I might have gone a little bit too wide. This is a fisherman's rib. And so first I was trying to make it like a v-neck, which the one from Rouje had a v-neck, but this didn't come out exactly like the v-neck I wanted. I don't know. I love the fabric. I like the feel of it. I love those things about it. And it's so little, and it feels like I've been working on this forever, and I'm over it. I don't know. I think I'm going to put this into a timeout, but I can't imagine myself wanting to return to it. There's so many weird, like, flaws in it, too. There's something about the rib that also shows you all the mistakes. Like, I don't know if you could see some of them, but I don't know. I love the texture though. What should I do? I just don't feel like continuing it. Maybe it's because it has all the, I did this in the hospital, and maybe that is like, I'm associating that. I don't know what. So I don't know. I'm going to put this into the let's see what happens bin. But you know, this kind of makes me not want to knit, and I want to have my knitting mojo back. And so it happens. Like, I think it just happens. We start something, we're excited about it. You know, the motivation for me was really trying to reproduce that sweater, which was, you know, maybe I should just get the sweater. I mean, just buy the sweater, Margaret, and end it. Like, do you have to really put yourself there? But you know, see, that's not the way I think. I'm always trying to, like, well, I could do it, you know, save money. But maybe some things are worth, you know, just like kind of, just buy it, scratch that itch, be on with your life. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe that's what I'll do. Let me tell you about this finished object, which I absolutely 100% adore. I love this so much. This is the Norma Jean sweater, and this is by Bevel Knitwear, and it's made with this incredible nubby Donegal DK yarn. And it's just scrumptious with all these little nips, which I adore. This is so, like, to me, Oxford Collegiate. Now, there's something about Bevel Knitwear that she is so incredible with her details. And those little vintage touches, like these little ruffles. Look at that. I'm pairing this with a beautiful necklace that my best friend Mark gave me. I, you know, just had to. The fit, perfection, classic, a total classic sweater. And full disclosure, I did not knit it. I did not knit this sweater. My daughter Maia did. And I blocked it for her. I finished it for her. I wove in the ends. So Mama should get credit for that, right? But she was the one who knit the whole thing. And she said that she knit a small, and the pattern was very straightforward to follow. She loved it. She says that the sleeves are a little too short for her. And so I don't know what's going to happen now. There are two options. And Maya, if you're watching, I would consider option 2. So option 1 is to like take out the cuff, or yeah, maybe take out the cuff and make it a little bit longer. I think she probably needs another maybe 3 inches. So maybe that would be too much cuff. So undo the cuff, knit it longer, and then, you know, do a cuff. So that's option 1. Or option 2 is just, Christmas is coming. Mama could use a handmade sweater that fits her, right? So instant Christmas gift. I am so bad, but oh gosh, like this fit, I love it so much. It's exactly right for me. In terms of the length and the sleeves, I wouldn't change a thing. So anyway, to celebrate holiday time, to celebrate New Year, to celebrate new beginnings, new energy, new flow, healing, wonderful new things. I've decided I wanted to dye. First of all, I'm going to make another sweater. So I want to show you that. So I just cast on yesterday. So it's not like there's much done here, but this is what I'm going with. And it's called the Diagon Alley Jumper. And this is another one of these sweaters by Bevel Knitwear. And it's very similar in some ways. I don't actually see what the difference is, except I know for a fact, let me bring this light a little closer, sorry. Is that better? That's better, I think. Okay. Okay, so I don't think there's much of a difference between this Diagon Alley Jumper and the Norma Jean, which I have on right now. But there's a technical difference, which is this one is knit top down, and the Diagon Alley Jumper is knit bottom up. Now, I don't think I've knit many sweaters bottom up. So this is new terrain for me. I'm not crazy about bottom up. The reason being, I'm never sure if it's, you know, I like to try on as I go. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might not even do this one. I just might do another Norma Jean. Maybe that's what I'll do. But in any case, I cast on and I want to show you what I did. So this is, oh gosh, everything is getting tangled. Okay, so I'm really feeling these jewel tones right now, and this one is like, oh my gosh, I love this one. This one, I'm trying to see if it could like pick up a little better, but it's like a ruby burgundy red, deep wine color. And so this is so far, it's like just like a little tadpole, but oh, it's so rich and so, I don't know, satisfying for this time of year. I just love it. It has all those, you know, like, you know, when you want to have in wintertime, like the stews, and you want to have like the deeper things, like the root vegetables, you want to have like those, you know, colors coming from the earth. This is what it feels like to me. It's just such an earthy kind of deep color. So this is a shade I am calling Ruby. It's from a new collection which will be debuting this week, December 5th, called Jewels. Now, Jewels is inspired by the Balanchine Ballet Jewels. George Balanchine, New York City Ballet. They were just doing a Balanchine retrospective this past October, and I believe it was the 75th anniversary or something like that. And in any case, I'm a huge ballet nut. My kids both were extremely involved in ballet, and I had one of my daughters even go so far as to dance with ABT in their summer program when she was 16 years old. So I was the dance mom. And because I was the dance mom, I would sit and I would knit while they were practicing or taking lessons, which was like every day. It was like a full-on massive commitment. And so one day, the director, this is at the New Jersey School of Ballet, saw me knitting, and I thought she was just going to ask me, what are you knitting? But instead she said, why are you always sitting there? Why don't you take an adult ballet class? And I said, are you kidding me? What? Adult ballet? I have to confess, as a child, the first classical music that I fell in love with was Tchaikovsky. And I used to take my mother's nightgowns and I used to dance in them to Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake and Nutcracker and stuff like that. So, dance is always something I've loved, and ballet loved, but it was always something I would never do publicly. So when she asked me to consider joining the class, I was like stunned, but I decided to take her up on it, and I took a class, an adult beginner class, and it was just the best experience. I have some experience with bar work. For years I've been doing an exercise called the bar method, which I really love, and its origins are ballet and bar workout. And so when I started doing it at the school, I fell in love immediately. So it just was so great. And so we'd go all the time to ballet. I used to work at the Met when I was in college, the Metropolitan Opera House. And so whenever they had the ABT coming, I'd see every ballet they had. And in any case, I have a strong connection and love it, and the costumes and the colors and the depth, and there's something also about balancing Tchaikovsky, the Russian feel of, when I think of the authors that I love, like Dostoevsky, I think of these rich shades of the earth. And so that's sort of behind this collection. So let me show you the 4 colors that will be presented for the collection this Monday. So this is, as I mentioned, this is the ruby. And these are all dyed on the Donegal tweed, which is in the sweater. It's a DK weight. And so this one is called Gray Diamond. Now, I wish you could see the variation in this, the variegation, because it's really lovely. It's so smoky, but it's so dark. I'm so sorry. On Instagram, I'll be posting better lit pictures of this. It looks black here, but it's really not. It's way more, it has a lot more light gray in it. Let me see if I could maybe get out of the way and show you this better. Yeah, it's not reading as well. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, anyway, but it's smoky. It's like, again, smoky diamond. Color, you got that. Gold, because, come on, gold. I mean, rich gold. We love that. Yeah, and the little tweedy nubs, whatever you call those things, they just make it even more incredible. I just love the way that texture works, and one of my favorites, emerald. This one is really, really gorgeous. So sorry that the camera is not wanting to focus on here, but I think you get the idea here. Focus! Anyway, So this is the little collection, So it took 3 skeins to make the small size, and so that's 3 for the small and the extra small. I think the medium, probably 4 skeins, large might be up to 5 skeins. I think the pattern goes up to an extra large. I am not sure, but in any case, it's, if you're looking for a very classic negative E sweater, and that would like work with your wardrobe, then I highly suggest this one. And you know, that little bit of that ruffle on the sleeve, it just, on the shoulder, just makes all the difference. So yeah, let me show you new handbags that I've gotten into the shop. This one is so cute. For those holiday nights out. Love the graphic prints, and this one is very wearable with almost any outfit because it's basically a neutral. Like this one goes so nicely with my gray outfit, but it's got gold and it has black and it has a cream. Really sweet. I actually started knitting another bevel wrap. That's my pattern, and it's out on Ravelry and on my website, and I started knitting it in colors to go with my bag. So I have some gold here, some white, black, and just a 3-color bevel wrap. And here I sort of marled it. I put white with the Vivian mohair, and I kind of made it into a marled look. So I'd like to finish that and have that, but I realized I could just like even wear this with anything and just be ready to go. The idea behind some of the combinations, which are available on the website, like this is another bevel wrap that I made in 5 colors. So this includes the cream, black, this is called Seduction Green, this is called Peach Martini, and this darker red is Claret. And so this, just to show you, is such a sweet wrap that goes with anything as well. And you could kind of like decide what color you want to dominate or not, you know, which you want to push forward, which one are you feeling, you just twirl it, right? So, and I have matching handbags because, like, come on, who doesn't love a matching set, right? So yeah, so it's still time for the holidays to knit yourself one. They take no time, and the diagonal is just really fun because you're changing colors all the time. You do end up working back and forth. And somebody asked about in the pattern where you have the beginning of row, there is actually some, like, you will see that there are some little holes that get produced. Like here, you see those little holes, but that's intentional, like that's gonna happen. So you can either keep them and have it be like in the design, or close them up by just seaming them from the back. And I have videos on that. So yeah, there's some video tutorials with purchase of the pattern. And so yeah, that's that. Recently I have been this month teaching some knitters in my town, a beginner knit class. And so we've been working on this, which is the classic scarf. And it's just really fun if you're looking for something to give to someone who's expressed an interest in knitting, but you really want to make sure that like they knit something that they'll want to wear. I would highly suggest considering this. It's the classic scarf. It is it requires 2 balls of the Rita bulky Boboleros yarn, and 1 skein of the Vivian mohair. So you're holding double the Rita Bulky Vivian mohair, and it just makes for the most luxurious fabric. It really has a gorgeous halo. This is casting on 18 stitches, and you're just knitting straight across. The kit comes with videos that gets your, new knitter going. And it also comes with size 13 straight needles, all the yarn. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, quick, easy gift. And I tell you, it's like wearing a Bunsen burner around your neck. It's so warm and cuddly and cozy and just really, really super fun. So yeah, so let me see. I think that's about it. I love putting things into this tote because it's so big. And even as I was traveling this month, I mean, I just was able to throw books in here and like my knitting and any kind of like Notion things. Everything fit so wonderfully in here. It just was absolutely wonderful. So yeah, so that's about it for the podcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping in. I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving and getting ready for the holiday time. And yes, it's a very, very intense time in the world on a global scale. And I think for so many people, even on a personal level too, there have been so many things happening. But it's amazing because with acceleration comes also this opportunity we have, especially in our knitting. It just gives us a time to kind of pull back and consider and get back into ourselves, intention, clear. I like this idea, like, you know how with a computer you clear the cache and you get rid of all that baggage that was on your computer beforehand that might be stalling it. I think we can do that with ourselves. Clear the cache, clear out all the programming that doesn't serve us anymore. A lot of the worries, anxieties that don't serve us anymore. Think about where we are putting our energy, and just a reset. And so I think that's one of the things, life seems to always have, like this push and pull element to it. It's like music always has dissonance, and then it has consonance, resolution. So with that, I hear the garage door opening, which means my husband is home from Costco. So I'm going to say au revoir until we meet again. Thank you for being here. See you soon. Bye.